Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of Together in Faith. I am Pastor Lane Nelson, sitting alongside.
Hi, I'm Pastor Joel.
And we are here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We are thankful that you are a part of this weekly conversation that we have where we look at the faith of others that we might grow in our own. We have a dark world outside us right now. We are still in the throes of January, but today was 28, 30 degrees.
Yeah, it was nice.
And it felt like summer. What a nice reprieve from the weather we have been having. It's just been so cold the last stretch.
Yep.
So we are thankful to have a little sunshine, thankful to be able to have a little bit of melting with the feet of snow that appear to be around every corner in the city. Hope things are well wherever you're at, whenever you are listening to this, that you are able to enjoy God's creation.
Speaking of that,
Yes.
I don't know what you were doing Friday. Friday, I drove up to see my parents up in the Twin Cities.
Yes.
And I left at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and it was some freezing fog. And so I almost slid through the intersection at Cliff and 12.
Really?
Yeah. I just it was super. So the roads were super slick, but
Yeah.
so I was kind of driving slow. But then as the sun was coming up, it was kind of half burning off the fog, but then all of the trees were covered in that frost.
Yeah.
Everything was white. It was it was gorgeous out. It was
Yeah.
just a great drive. But
Those are pretty times.
yeah,
Too
really.
bad you have to go through what you have to get to them. You know?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple of folks who are joining in here. First, we say a good evening to Wayne Washi. Nice to have you a part of the conversation, Wayne. Thanks for all you do. Good day in the office today. Also, jumping in, it's Judy, Arizona. Not cold where she is at. She was visiting with me the other day talking about pool time, though she said it was an indoor pool. I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Nice
Probably-
to...
Probably not a lot of frost. Not a lot of frosted trees in Arizona.
Probably
right now.
not. Good to have you here, Judy. We miss you. Hope you're having a wonderful winter. Colleen, welcome to this conversation. Colleen, nice to have you here joining in as we are talking about our faith. All right. Well, tonight we have a title for our little public access show subtitled Thinking About the Holy Land. As some of you are aware, Pastor Joel and I are about to embark on a continuing education trip to Israel to see many of the biblical sites. And so we will be led by a seminary professor from Luther. I almost said Luther Northwestern, but that's old. From Luther Seminary, who will be kind of leading that experience. And then we have another tour company who will be taking us around, going from site to site to site. I've never been there before.
Never been there before.
Don't have a real good idea of what to expect, though I certainly have some ideas. So tonight we thought, as we were going through this, some of you might have been there. Some of you might like to go there sometime. And so in preparation for this, we want to just touch a little bit about Israel, a little bit about it today, but then also think about it from a biblical perspective, which is all of my knowledge. Is the biblical knowledge of Israel. But that was 2,000 years ago, which is just almost hard to fathom.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same place as it was 2,000 years ago. And so I got to always keep that in the forefront of my mind.
Well, and hopefully this will free up, for those of us, who have grown up with this notion of Israel that's formed by the biblical text.
Yes.
And so then locked, frozen in time. Going there will hopefully kind of free that up for us and give us a different perspective. So.
I know when I traveled to Germany, I shared this with a number of years ago, and went through all the Luther Bonhoeffer sites. It gave me a deeper appreciation for the Reformation, for who we are as Lutherans. It gave me insights that for whatever reason I didn't have before. So that's my one hope to come away. Bless you.
Thank you.
Is it all somehow through the geography and being there have a deeper appreciation and understanding of the biblical text?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at Sandy Fisher has joined us.
Hey, Sandy.
Nice to have you here, Sandy, sister-in-law Sandy. Always a pleasure to see your smiling face jump up on the screen. All right, we're going to throw up a map right now. Some of you have seen this before. Pastor Joel had this up a while ago. This is simply kind of showing the vast area of where we will be without any specifics. So here is roughly that stretch, what we think of as biblical Israel.
Yep.
Circled to the left is Tel Aviv. That's where we will be flying into. We will go to Istanbul and then down to Tel Aviv. From there, I don't know if we're taking donkeys, a bus, a train, something, but we'll go up north where you see circled around Tiberias, which is right on the Sea of Galilee. So we will be spending the first half, roughly, of our trip up there. We'll do a whole bunch of sightseeing in and around that area in what we think of as northern Israel. Then we will go south. You see Jerusalem is circled. We will be staying in Bethlehem right below that and doing a bunch of day trips in the southern half of the Holy Land before we make our way back to Tel Aviv and eventually Sioux Falls. So that just gives a little bit of geographical perspective. Maps are helpful for me, so hopefully that was helpful for you.
Sure.
But we can't go without thinking about this as a community experience, right? You know, as pastors of yours here at Eastside Lutheran Church, we're kind of entering into this endeavor together, at least on a surface level. And so I was curious about what you would like to see in the Holy Land. Again, many of you might have gone. Some of you might in the future. Some of you might never have any inclination to go. But I'd be curious. So if you wanted to throw up a, hey, if I was to go to the Holy Land, this is what I would want to see, that would be very interesting. And
it would be, yeah.
We had opportunity, we could take a picture, a video,
send
a postcard.
So, and if you're thinking like, I don't know what I want to see in the Holy Land, let's while you're thinking about it, because maybe you do have like, no, I definitely need to see, I don't know, whatever that is. But if you don't,
where Jesus was born.
Here is what we'll be doing the first 2 days. We'll or even the first day. So we're gonna arrive in Tiberias, which is on the Sea of Galilee, and then we're gonna be in Nazareth. You know, what good can come from Nazareth? Kind of Nazareth. And in fact, it was in this last week's reading, right? He'll be called a Nazarene. And Cana will be at Mount Carmel, which is, for you Old Testament Hebrew buffs, Elijah's confrontation with the false prophets of Baal. So that's going to be day one, as well as Nazareth, the Basilica of the Annunciation. We're going to be in Magdala, and we're going to be staying in Tiberias. So I just think that's really, really interesting. Now, this is the second day where I get really kind of interested. If you have a one of these things, you're like, oh, I want a photo of that, type it in the chat. We're going to be going to Caesarea Philippi. We're going to go to the Mount of the Beatitudes. So where Jesus gave the Sermon on the Mount. So we'll be there. We're going to do a boat ride on the Sea of Galilee.
Yay!
And
I like boat rides.
And we're going to be in Capernaum. And we were told by one of our parishioners, Pastor Don, this afternoon, that we should get coffee with the shepherds on the north end of the Sea of Galilee.
Strained through a horse's tail.
That's right. That's how you described it.
Made it really sound good.
So those are just the first 2 days. So I'm really curious if you have something that you like. Oh no, I definitely want to see Pastor Lane water skiing on the Sea of Galilee,
Ah,
then type it in the chat, because otherwise, how would we know that you wanted to see Pastor
sure.
Lane?
Look at it, you walk on water.
So yeah, I mean those are the first, and I am.
And we're back. We think, we hope. Hopefully you are with us. Hopefully we are here. We lost our little broadcast because we didn't have enough space left on the hard drive here. So we opened up some space on the hard drive. Hopefully this live broadcast is now going through again. If you are seeing us for the second time, give us a hello or a thumbs up so that we can know you're communicating with us. Everything here says that we are good to go and golden again. So hopefully you have found us. But before we had all of these problems, we had a hello from Bob Fulshow. So hi, Bob. Nice to have you here. We also had a hello from Marlis. Good to have you with us, Marlis. Sorry, we're not going to get to the Nile. I think I'm safe there. I'm safe. Thanks, Wayne. All right. Israel today, in 2023 it is bordered by lots of other places. To the north, we have Lebanon, then to the northeast, Syria, and then moving down a little bit south is Jordan. And then if you go all the way around, you have Egypt, and then you have the Mediterranean Sea on the west, and on the south, a little tiny bit of the Red Sea. And then it's also surrounded by these Palestinian territories, which I believe are mostly Israeli occupied, of the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. So I have a handy little dandy map I'm going to throw up now from Wikipedia that shows present day Israel and then its surroundings. So you can pause this if you want. I won't keep it up real long. We just kind of popped it up from Wikipedia. We're very thankful for them.
But we are both commenting.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Yeah, you don't think. I always think. Then this is just the bad geography of my mind.
Yeah.
But when I think about the West Bank, I think about it on the coast, on the western coast, not on the West Bank of the Jordan. My brain just, I don't know.
When I think of Israel, I have this image of my biblical map in my mind of what Israel looks like, but it's not. And 2,000 years later, this is what it looks like today. With that tip going way down to the Red Sea there in the south, and that big chunk of the West Bank taken out of the side. So that just kind of helped me get a little bit better present day perspective onto where exactly it is that we are going. A little bit more information. Israel has a little over 9 million people as its population. It brings the 28th largest economy in the world. The capital city is Jerusalem, but Tel Aviv is really the largest city. Government, the seat of government, throws itself into Jerusalem, but the center of everything else, again, Tel Aviv being the largest city, the economy, the technology.
On the coast.
All of that stuff. Yeah, beautiful coast. The pictures you pull up now, well, it's just that Mediterranean tranquility, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be awful. So don't think that it's that we're gonna go. I don't see. I'm not packing sandals.
No.
No.
This area too, though, now that you kind of step back, and so you have that biblical perspective, that present day perspective, it's interesting to think about. This strip of land has been continually changing hands over the centuries, going back to our Old Testament times when the Canaanites were there, right? And then God's promised land was this area, and so eventually the Hebrew people made their way in, and then had all of these clashes with the Canaanites to take over this land, and it's been changing hands by some empire over and over and over and over and over throughout history.
Right.
We think of it often with that New Testament perspective again, or at least I do, because that's when you're studying the Bible. That's where your head is, right?
Right.
Of these clashes with Rome, right, during and after the time of Jesus. And so that's just a small part of it, though. All of these different empires have been vying for this piece of ground for thousands, literally, of years. So, I see Ray chiming in here. Brenda and I would like to take a walking trip through Jerusalem. Well, that could be fun
All
to do a
right.
little stroll with
All
the
right.
camera. And
So if I bring the gimbal and we
Yeah.
just kind of were you saying you wanted us to take you on a walking trip, Ray? Or
I think they do. And reading this again, he doesn't really care if we do. He and Brenda would like to do that, and that
Good.
makes much more sense. Yeah. All right. Nice. Anyway, so then it causes me to think about, what would it be like to be living under occupation, to be in an area where somebody else is in control. And I think of this as my home, but I
Right.
look out the window and some foreign entity has militarily occupied that ground.
Right.
And regardless of what side you fall on, it's been like that throughout history. Somebody is looking out their window and somebody else has been in control.
Yeah.
Whether that's most recently Palestine or Israel, or going way back with Romans, or even Babylon and Assyria, or Canaanite, you name it. It's just kind of been that way. And I just can't fathom that having grown or living in the United States.
Yeah.
We just don't have the perspective.
On a serious note, right? I mean, us being there, it is an opportunity to have a little bit of an experience like Jesus.
Yep.
What was the
Just a quick hi to Terry and Kim. Who
Terry
are
and Kim,
there.
hey,
Yeah.
good, glad you're here. Now, on a non-serious note,
Yeah.
you grew up in far northern North Dakota,
Mm-hmm.
and I seem to remember a movie that came out about Canada invading. It was Russia invading through Canada. Wasn't it called Red Dawn?
Oh, sure.
I think that's it. I'm gonna have to look this up, people. So just like one of those movies that would have been made of your nightmares.
Yes, I know.
To have been invaded in North Dakota.
Well, it would never be the good people of Canada.
No,
Yeah,
I think it was Russians
nice.
coming through Canada.
There you go.
Yeah, but now I have to look it up because
Well, we might be getting a little off and a little far-fetched on this tonight. But anyway, we're kind of throwing this out there so that you all can be a part of this adventure. Next week's Together in Faith will be up at some point in time, but it won't be live because the time difference is about 8 hours.
right.
But we'll try and give you a glimpse of what is going on with us over there so that you can be a part of that. And then you'll hear way too much of it when we come back, as we're still trying to figure out how we will present, aside from things that will just kind of come up in teaching and preaching and whatnot. But how else can we share this with Eastside and all of these fine folks and you here with Together in Faith? So,
And hopefully you'll have photos of Pastor Lane and I on the water by that point.
yes.
So
yes.
we'll try and do some of that, and it is true, Pastor Lane. I did find it the 1984 version of the film, not the 2012 remake.
Oh,
It's starring Patrick Swayze. You don't remember this film at all?
vaguely.
Based in the Dakotas, man.
Really? Now I got to go back, and they didn't film it in my hometown.
No, I'm guessing not. I'm guessing not. But
Hi, Alice. Alice is giving us a bon voyage, which is maybe her words for saying, time to wrap it up, boys. That's sweet. Thank you, Alice. We appreciate those well wishes. All right. Well, bringing this to a close, we do like we do each night here, closing with Luther's evening prayer. Shall we? I give thanks to you, my heavenly Father, through Jesus Christ, your dear Son, that you've graciously protected me today. And I ask you to forgive me all my sins where I have done wrong, and graciously to protect me tonight. For into your hands I commend myself, my body, my soul, and all that is mine. Let your holy angel be with me, so that the wicked foe may have no power over me. Amen. And then we are to go quickly off to sleep. Go and look up Red Dawn and see what that's really all about. And we look forward to being back with you all very soon. God's peace and a good